The report, which was the subject of legal exchanges last night when it was brought before the Supreme Court judges, shows that the IEBC complied with about 9 orders, while it failed to fully comply with 5.
What is contained in the database of the IEBC is the mirror of what took place during the elections. And one can even question why that survey is there in France and not here, to the extent that when France is asleep, we can't wake up.
The failure to comply largely blamed on cybersecurity concerns and time constraints. The IEBC compiled with Order A that information be provided relating to the servers in their possession, even as the report notes that the petitioners had requested for more information about the servers.
The IT report has a few errors, and we request the registrar, in the fullness of time, to compare this report with the handwritten notes that were done by our representative. Because in certain instances, what is here does not marry with what our representatives were requested to sign for. And they signed for each and every part of this report.
The report also shows that the IEBC was reluctant to provide internal configurations as contained in Order B that required it to provide firewalls without disclosure of a software version. The report, however, opposes the petitioner's request for external configuration as it makes the IEBC systems vulnerable. The experts were satisfied that the IEBC complied with Order C that required it to provide its operating systems without releasing the software version, even though the petitioners had requested for additional information.
It takes time to get round the firewalls and access. And that was a challenge. And that was being set up by our service providers. So it took time, not us refusing. And the fact that it took such a long time is evidence of the security features in the system, which then demolishes the suggestion that anybody would have hacked.
The soft copy document provided by the IEBC to show its password policy and matrix as contained in Order D and E, the report shows, satisfied all the parties. IEBC also complied with the order to reveal the system user types and levels of access, as well as the election technology system redundancy plan, comprising of its business continuity plan and disaster recovery plan. IEBC, however, failed to present certified copies of penetration tests conducted on its election technology system prior to the election as contained in Order H. IEBC partially complied with orders to provide a certified list of all KIMS kits, but not used or deployed during the election, with a document provided showing those allocated and none allocated, but falling short of showing whether it was deployed or not. The order to provide information on KIMS kits allocated to each polling station was, however, complied with. The request for login trails of users into the IEBC servers was not granted through the read-only access, as well as the login trails of users into the KIMS database management system, with the electoral body providing pre-downloaded logs. Provide information on KIMS kits allocated to each polling station was, however, complied with. It provides certified copies of original Forms 34A, 34B, and Form 34C, prepared and obtained from the polling stations by presiding officers and used to generate the final tally was complied with a parallel exercise taking place at the Milimani Law Courts. By the time the lawyers were making their submissions on the 2 reports, IEBC officials were offloading the forms from an IEBC vehicle escorted by police officers and taking them to the Supreme Court registry. John Jacob Curia for Channel 1 News.